series, in that match. But here is the second game of this best of 3 series. Can CecilSunkure figure out a way to come back in this fight here? Now, PicNic has spawned as the purple Zerg, while CecilSunkure is the pink Protoss. This is Xel'Naga Caverns, only 2 spots, and so far I think in every single match that at least I've casted, Xel'Naga Caverns has been the second map of choice. Very curious. It seems a lot of people like this map here, but CecilSunkure is just going to be, he doesn't know that his opponent is Zerg just yet, and it looks like, guys, I don't think PicNic has built a drone in a while. I do think he's going to build a spawning pool, and logic follows that he would make 3 Zerglings after that, and last time I checked, 7 pool Zerglings are pretty quick. So it looks like PicNic is going to be going for a 7 pool here, as if it couldn't get cheesier enough. I mean, if PicNic was making toast, he would be putting like 3 layers of cheese there and toasting that up nice and hot, because he really likes his cheese. So here we go, 7 pool, and CecilSunkure doing a pylon scout, and here comes a probe, and it will see the 7 pool. So CecilSunkure is going to be knowing what's coming. Now, what will his reaction be? He's going to be putting down an early forge, and I do expect to see a gateway to complete this wall off. That would be the ideal maneuver, and it looks like PicNic is getting gas. Oh no, just extractor tricking. My bad, I should have known that. Extractor tricking to get an extra set of lings out without having to get his overlord that quickly. And so a lot of lings are going to be streaming into CecilSunkure's base very quickly. 6 lings out and an overlord on the way. That's going to allow PicNic to make even more lings if he so desires to do. And CecilSunkure has completely walled off his front, and a cannon should be going down relatively soon. And the forge actually has relatively low amounts of health. You can see the gateway has 500 in terms of shield and health, and the forge only has 400. Additionally, these 2 pylons, they could be a certain target for the Zerglings to attack. Let's see how much surface area these Zerglings can get. The cannon is a little over halfway. PicNic is going for the gateway. That's exactly what you don't want to go for. This cannon will finish up in time, and the gateway will be not be sniped. So CecilSunkure, nice timing on his defense there on the ramp. And PicNic is just going to be making a queen. He's just been making drones. I like that so far, not going too all in with his aggression there. Cecil himself getting a cyber core, now adding on a gas, and he only has a few people in gas. I wonder what he plans to do here. And it looks like he does have a probe out here next to the expansion. He's going to be able to see, oh, and he puts a pylon there, but the Zerglings do scatter, and it's immediately cancelled. And it looks like Cecil is going to be transitioning into somewhat of a normal game himself. So this probe is now moving across the main. He's going to get a full scout, sees that Roach Warren going down, but it is very liable to be cancelled. And PicNic does do that. So tricky. PicNic is like the master of trickery and cheese here. And he's just got so many cards up his sleeve. You just can never know what he's doing. Always keeping his play in the dark here, and let's see what CecilSunkure does. Now that the Roach Run has been cancelled, I would expect PicNic to either be making a ton of lings, which I don't know about that since there's this wall off here, or to be making a lot of drones, which he is doing, and his expansion is on the way. What does CecilSunkure have planned to deal with this right now? He's adding on 2 more gateways. That's going to push him up to 3 gate, and I think he needs to start finding a way out of his base onto the map. And how is he going to take his natural? That's going to be the big question. Unless he decides that early aggression is the option he wants to go for, in which case, how is he going to attack his opponent? So he does have a stalker out, and that's going to help control his ramp a bit. But at this point, I think he needs to be thinking about a better transition here. And we have PicNic getting supply block. He's got 2 overlords on the way, and I do expect more drones to be coming out. There we go. More drones being built by PicNic right now, and we're just waiting for that certain timing. What timing is PicNic looking for? He has Zergling speed on the way, and now Cecil decides he's going to start working on his pylon here, and that's going to break down that wall off. Warp gates are finished. CecilSunkure didn't build another pylon, so he's going to be supply blocked right as these warp gates finish, and he's going to miss his timing there. And now only is he adding on that 1 pylon. So here we go, now moving down his ramp. These Zerglings are on hold position, and they could take a lot of damage, losing 2 before moving them away. Not too huge. Zergling speed about 10 seconds away from finishing up. But PicNic already has his second, and it's already beginning to be saturated. Let's go take a look at the income count. 27 for PicNic and 26 for our Protoss player. CecilSunkure, his natural is now being constructed. And a cannon on a low ground. I like this. But right now, Xel'Naga Caverns, you know, it's such a wide open area here in front of the natural. Zerglings could really come from the side and pressure that expansion, but it looks like Cecil is going to be going out for a timing here. He's going to be able to kill a lot of those lings in the front, and PicNic is going to be making a ton of Zerglings right at this point. He's got a Spine Crawler out. That's going to be good for defense there, and he's got an Evolution Chamber on the way, I do believe. It must have finished. There it is. There's that Evolution Chamber. I like this positioning. It's going to prevent the Protoss units from going through that back and microing through that area. Another probe is going to be caught by not going to be caught by PicNic, and that probe slips by, and here we go. Good positioning by CecilSunkure, covering his ramp, and now again these Zerglings are pushing on this side, trying to put pressure on the expansion, but it's far too late now. I wonder if that probe got spotted. It looks like it did get killed finally, so no forward pylon by CecilSunkure. He's not going to be able to put the pressure that he wants on his opponent right now. A nice Overlord positioning by PicNic here, just making sure he can see past this rush area as we lag for a bit. Oh, now we're back. That was scary. And this Phoenix is going to be flying across here. You're going to get a full scout on what PicNic is doing. And another Phoenix illusion going to be flying across the map. And so I think right now Cecil is just going to be looking for, okay, does PicNic have a third? What tech is PicNic on? And where is he planning to get his expansion? Is he making a macro hatchery? Is he going to go for a ton of lings and do all-in pressure? And those hallucinated phoenixes give him full read on his opponent. So what will CecilSunkure do from here? It looks like he does have that robo facility down. He has another gateway warping in. But so far, no timings in sight for CecilSunkure. He's just playing really defensively right now. Likewise, for PicNic, he's just playing kind of defensively, knocking down rocks. I like how he knocked the high-yield rocks down and now working on these rocks on this side here. And +1 melee attack out for PicNic. I would like to see Cecil get his +1 attack on this forge here, seeing as he did get that so early. And here comes a ton of lings moving across the middle of the map, and it looks like they could run by the units of CecilSunkure. Oh, and they do turn back around, and CecilSunkure is going to realize that, okay, he needs to send his units back to his natural. Another hallucinated Phoenix will spot that Spore Crawler there, and it's going to see that these two queens are here, ready to defend PicNic's base. Meanwhile, Immortal's coming out for Cecil. That's a very curious choice. He had his hallucinated Phoenix flying around. He was able to see that it's just mass lings so far. I don't really know why he's going for these overlords here. He didn't really see a Roach Warren. He just saw Lair Tech, he saw double Evo Chambers, and now a Spire, and so I really gotta wonder about this Immortal Tech. Now he is going to be knocking down these rocks fairly fast, and that's going to give him access to possibly his third. But the big question is, with the mobility of the Zerglings and the comparative slowness of the Protoss ball, how is he going to manage to defend both of those bases? We'll have to see. CecilSunkure has a gateway here, and that's forcing some of the probes to take the long way around while mining gas. And so that's not necessarily too ideal. Just more and more lings for PicNic, and they do have +1 melee attack. Meanwhile, only the +1 attack. Yeah, only the +1 attack now starting for Cecil. Oh, and I don't know these mass lings, but he does have a lot of sentries, so this push could, depending on the force fields, it could be very strong. The positioning on the Zealots and the Stalkers and the Immortals and the Sentries are so key here. And it looks like he's going to be sniping down creep towards. Very nice. And he's going to be pushing into this choke. And those force fields are going to be allow him to possibly do some pressure back on these lings, trapping a few. He needs to work on that Spine Crawler, though. Now, possibly that's why he chose to get the Immortals, but he's going to be pushing back. Just did a little Creep Tumor control, but given the fact that PicNic has a lot of those queens out right now, he's going to be able to replenish that quite nicely. I would like to see perhaps Cecil could go for a push on PicNic's third. If he's able to snipe that, he does have those two Immortals out. He has a lot of Zealots, and that could do a lot of damage. Oh, and a War Prism coming out for CecilSunkure, and he might do elevator action up to PicNic's base. Let's see. This War Prism is making its way across here. Mutas are out now. Ooh, and that's not going to be good. This War Prism will get sniped. and the mutas are out in large amounts. PicNic had a lot of money stockpiled for that. Meanwhile, Cecil's money is climbing quite high, trapping a lot of lings in the middle there, but this one spine crawler is doing so much damage. I would like to see this one emerald turn around and start working on that, just kill that and get rid of it, but oh my god, all these Zerglings being so cost ineffective, and Cecil needs to figure out a way. How is he going to preserve enough sentries to deal with these mutas? And it looks like he won't. Zergling's going straight to the mineral line. Zealot's going straight to the mineral line, going to try to take down a lot of probes, and here comes the mutas cleaning up a large amount of the sentries for CecilSunkure. More stalkers reinforcing, but they're going to be food for the Zerglings when they swing back over. And now +1 attack did finish out for the Zealots, so they are even with the Zerglings there. +1 attack more effective for the Protoss than for the Zerg, and it looks like all the sentries, all the immortals, and all the stalkers cleaned up by the mutalisks, but at what cost? Let's go and take a look at the income count. 45 for the Zerg player and 56 for the Protoss, but here comes a large counterattack. What does Cecil have to defend this? He doesn't have much map vision. He doesn't know where the Zerg player is going to choose to attack into. He needs more cannons. He needs more units right now. And here comes the Zergling starting in. They're gonna choose to go for the third. The cannons are not quite finished yet. There's one poor zealot who gets chewed up immediately, and now these stalkers arrive. They need to move back to give space for the zealots here, and the stalkers need to start working on these mutalisks. This is going to be fairly cost ineffective for Cecil, and those mutalisks look like they will come out on the better side, but cannon finish just in time. And once again, CecilSunkure barely hanging on. And you know, it's funny because the fact that Cecil barely hung on, I would say, gives them a large advantage right now. Look at that, even harvester count, even bases. And CecilSunkure is now solidified. He's got cannons up at his third. He's ready to make stalkers. He knows the tech of his opponent. He's transferring probes. He's getting blink, and everything is looking fairly positively for CecilSunkure so far. PicNic up against the wall. He lost quite a few drones in that push. A lot of lings were lost, but I don't mind that necessarily too much. But what's going to be really scary is this mutalisk count. Look at that, 17 mutalisks out for PicNic right now. Let's go back to the production tab. Just then we could see that the worker count for CecilSunkure much higher. But what tech will Cecil go for now? It looks like so far he's just been relying on mass gateways and the old double Twilight Council build. In other words, the redundancy build. He just wants to make sure that if one gets sniped, he can still have the other. But here we go, he's getting +1 armor. I would like to see a second forge and perhaps start upgrading a bunch. Here comes Mutalisks swinging in the back, gonna snipe down a lot of workers. Despite the fact that there's a cannon there, the Mutalisks are in a high enough amount that they can just force their way through and snipe more workers, sniping down another cannon. I don't know if that got cancelled. And here comes finally the Blink Stalkers there. Oh, and a lot of workers lost there, but still ahead in the worker count, where PicNic has to spend larva making units. CecilSunkure can just constantly make probes, and a fourth base at the high yield expansion for PicNic right now. Let's see if CecilSunkure can find a way to break that. It looks like High Templar on the way for CecilSunkure. But right now he needs to have more cannons at his expansion. He needs to find a way out of his base right now, because if he lets his opponent get this fourth up, that's going to be really bad. Now pathogen glands and infestors on the way. Fungal growthing these blink stalkers here can be really deadly. But here comes Cecil for a timing push. Let's see how well PicNic can defend. That is a lot of mutalisks, now up to 22 mutalisks, and a lot of Zerglings streaming down the side of the map. It looks like they're going to go running straight to the natural, and not. They're just going to run around in a big, huge circle, trying to figure out, okay, is there anybody at the Xel'Naga towers? Are there any additional units on this side of the map? And continuing to play passive, just waiting for those infestors to kick in. 3 just spawned. Pathogen glance is done, so they will have enough energy for the fungal growth right out of the larva. And more cannons out for CecilSunkure's third. Most of his units in the middle here, but you have to wonder how exposed this side of the base is. Now, you might think that there's not too much tech, but you know, that could be really deadly if the Cybercore gets sniped. We'll have to see. More mutalisks for PicNic right now. He's now at 24 mutalisks. He has infestors on the way. He has 4 of them and a ton of Zerglings. And this third base looks to be in a lot of trouble right now. The observer is going to see that the high yield expansion is taken. but it's not aware of the fact that there's a ton of Zerglings streaming in on the side of his base. It looks like CecilSunkure is going to try to make his way down the ramp, but they get fungal growth on that ramp. The High Templar are here. I think some of them got caught in that fungal growth. Storm is not quite finished. Now it's just done. 2 great storms on the Mulus, but they're going to fly over those Stalkers and try to eliminate that storm there, because you would just be storming your own units, and it looks like the Mulus will clean up with the help of those Infestors, and so many Mulisks left. The storms weren't quite as effective. A lot of the Templar got caught in that fungal growth, and now CecilSunkure is in a terrible position. He was got caught off guard by that Infestor tech. A lot of pros being lost right now, and this could be the end of CecilSunkure. A lot of Mulis remain. They are all low health, but there's nothing to deal with them, and good game. PicNic will take the series 2-0, and another win under PicNic's belt over CecilSunkure. Great use of that Mutaline composition, transitioning into those Infestors. Again, going into the series, I was worried that PicNic would not be able to transition out of his early aggression quite as well, but showing that he has the ability to do so, and he did that very well in these few games, getting that 4th base, knowing that he had map control with those Mutalisks, and very convincingly taking the win in that 2nd game. CecilSunkure not playing bad himself at all. He defended a lot of very high aggression play there. Unfortunately, not able to do that quite effectively enough to come out with the victory. So we will have PicNic moving on, and CecilSunkure will drop down to the losers bracket. Now, PicNic has been doing very well so far. I don't think he's dropped a single series just yet, and I will find out from Edward what the next game is. I hope you guys have been enjoying the Seattle-Washington GameClucks LAN event here. If you are in the area, we would love to see you down here in Linwood at the GameClucks LAN Center. There are a lot of people here playing a lot of great games of StarCraft. We would love to meet you here, EdwardStarcraft and I. That is, I am Mr. Z on EdwardStarcraft's channel, and I will get an update from him soon on what we will be doing. But so far, we're about midway into this tournament. Let's go take a look at the brackets.